people expect there's a little asterisk and there is going to be fees. So we said fees. And as soon as you say fees, you go, yeah, like I'm a customer, like I'm giving you like interest.
Hey there, and welcome to a brand new episode of Delivering Marketing Joy. I am your host, Kirby Hasseman, and joining me today is a brand new rock star. I'm super excited to dive into the topics today. He is a global leader in storytelling, an award-winning writer, and the founder of Narrativity. Greg Logan, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you, Kirby. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. Okay, so in doing my research about you, I know that you've worked with all kinds of organizations, from banks to insurance companies, and all over the place. So how do these brands actually connect emotionally with their audience?
Yeah, I think the businesses that come from the traditionally unsexy categories, they're the ones, it's funny when I speak to them. Quite often they'll say, look, I'm really sorry, but we're not as exciting as the other brands you work with. But for me, the unsexier, the better, because it's where I can make the biggest difference. And I would have to say that probably I work across all brands in all categories, but probably my number one, especially in the last few years, has been financial or insurance. And I think they realize that they need a point of difference. They need to sound different to their competitors. And while the category may not seem exciting, all their customers have a pain point that's very, very emotional to them. And I might give you a couple of examples of these unsexy brands and messages that I've created for them. And you'll see how you can cut through and be emotionally exciting within these categories. So the first one is a wonderful client of mine from Australia. They're a home lender called Athena, and their whole thing was to help customers pay off their home loan faster. So the tagline was "Love us and leave us," which is not what you expect from a home lender. And then one of the key messages, because life's too short for a long home loan. And all of a sudden you start to go, hey, yeah, why am I trapped in this thing for so long? And they had this proof point of no fees. And I said to them, yeah, but as soon as you say no fees, people expect there's a little asterisk and there is going to be fees. So we said fees. And as soon as you say fees, you go, yeah, like I'm a customer, like I'm giving you like interest. And so we said, we'll reward you for being a customer, not sting you. Now, for 6 years, they've had on their homepage, and they've only had one complaint from a nun, and she was not in the market to buy a home loan. And they've had incredible success because they just said something very, very, very different. And if you just start with another client of mine is a 5th generation Swiss bank, very straight, very traditional. And for the story I created for them, I started with something that really triggers their audience, who are very wealthy. But the opening line was, you've spent a lifetime building what you have, plan on keeping it. As soon as you say that, they're like, oh yes, that's what I want to do. Yeah. And then we talk about Bordier, which is the organization. For 5 generations, Bordier family has been preserving and growing wealth for our family and many, many others around the world. When it comes to money, our clients say they trust us more than themselves, a trust that keeps growing. So for that audience, holding on to their millions was really, really important.
Yeah.
We started reminding the people with Athena that they don't want to be trapped by banks anymore. So you can see, if you can trigger your audience's greatest attention, all of a sudden that's exciting, no matter what category you're in, no matter who you're talking to.
Yeah, and I find the best marketing. It's like it definitely attracts the people that you want, but sometimes it repels the people you don't want. Right? Like, and so like, and both things are good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think the biggest danger for brands is to play it safe. And people go, oh, we can't take that risk. The greatest risk is not being unique, is not standing out. Like, unless you have, if you're some of the biggest companies in the world and you can throw money at huge advertising campaigns, fine. But if you can't, you have to cut through some way. So by truly understanding your audience, you can really, really talk to them. And it's okay if you alienate some people, but you're really going to connect with the people that's going to make a difference to your business.
Yeah, I totally agree. And my next question probably leans into some of what you're talking about here, but what are some of the things that businesses get wrong with their messaging?
Well, they tell the story they want to tell rather than the story their audience wants to hear. If you think about every business, they just go, right, what do we have to tell everyone? How great we are.
Yeah.
But no one cares. I mean, you've got to stop talking about yourself. The thing is, it's not about you. You are not the hero. I've borrowed the storytelling formulas from movies so brands can be far more engaging and emotional. And movies work because there's a hero with a quest. But every day, your customer is the hero of their own story, and they have a number of quests they want to see achieved. So they don't want a shopping list of your features. They don't actually care about you. What they do care about is if you can help them get what they want. If you can help your audience achieve their quest, you're invaluable to them. So that's really, really important. Stop being so rational. Statements aren't stories. The thing is, we make decisions with emotion and we just use the rational to justify our decision.
Yeah, after the fact.
And the thing is, rational doesn't add up in marketing because facts only trigger 2 parts of the 4 quadrants of our brains, but stories light up all 4. So stories are so much, much more powerful in remembering things. And it's why we remember messages told with stories 22 times more than those that are just told in a very straight way.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's a powerful, yeah. So you mentioned sort of the storytelling of Hollywood. So what's one storytelling trick Hollywood uses that every business should try and borrow?
The quest. Movies work because the hero has a quest at the start of the film that we, the audience, agree with. We watch that film all the way to the end to see that quest achieved, and that quest is never furthest away than 10 minutes before the end of the film. So it's really powerful. If you can create a quest that your audience wants to see achieved, they're going to use you. So the movies have a wonderful, simple formula. What do you do? Who do you do it for? And what value do you add to their lives? So, for instance, Star Wars, what does Luke do? Save. Who for? The galaxy. The value by defeating the dark side. Save the galaxy by defeating the dark side. Barbie, what does she do? Restoring. Who for? Girls. What does she do? The benefits. Restoring girls' boundary between perfection and reality. And the simplest one of all is Finding Nemo. What's Dad doing? Finding. Who for? Nemo. The value adds to life is find Nemo. So you don't need to add anything else. And it's a very simple formula for businesses. So I told you about Athena, the home loan company, removing borrowers from the mortgage handcuffs. Removing, what do you do? Who for? Borrowers. Value add to the lives, removing borrowers from the mortgage handcuffs. Me, in my business, turning businesses into loved brands. And Kirby, I was thinking about you, and your statement is a quest. I mean, delivering marketing joy. If marketing is who you're doing it for, the category, absolutely. But you could say delivering businesses, marketing joy, delivering people, marketing joy, delivering the world, marketing joy. You're inherently a quest in your statement.
Love it.
Itself. So it's a really great trick that works for Hollywood. It works for every single film. And if you can create a very simple one, and the thing is, keep it simple. Make the benefit of what you do as big as possible and don't try and explain how you do it. You deliver marketing joy. You don't go into details of how you do it. I turn businesses into love brands, but both of our audiences go, I want to see that achieved. So now they're going to ask, how are you going to do it? So that is a great trick. It's the simplest. It's the strongest. I use it even for every pitch. I think about the audience. What do they want to see achieved from this pitch? I help investors or people raise money from investors by using the Quest formula.
Man, that's good stuff. This is all things we should probably re-listen to again and again, Greg. I got one final question for you. It's one I like to ask, which is what's one piece of advice you hear being handed out all the time that you actually think is wrong?
Okay, you would have heard this for decades in marketing, that we can't say anything negative in our communication. If you go back to the movies work because of tension, because of conflict. We pay money to go see that conflict and we want to see it resolved. So you can't have a happy ending unless you have that tension and you have that conflict. So this positive message is such an outdated, misinformed, widely held assumption in marketing. And if you think about Athena, the home loan company, we said fees. It was powerful. It worked. Oatly, the world's biggest selling oat milk, screams that we suck. Liquid Death twists every marketing convention on its head in the most perverse ways and uses so many negatives to huge, huge success. And if you think political parties have been using negative advertising for decades, and the reason they do it, it works. It works. So tension draws your audience in. You don't have to, the whole communication shouldn't be negative, but it's that entry point. If you think of, if you think about that Bordier, the Swiss bank I was telling you about, we started with, you've spent a lifetime building what you have, plan on keeping it. That's a tension there.
Yeah.
That's not saying, we've been helping families grow their wealth for 5 decades. We go, you've spent a life to, Yeah,
the inherent thing is that you might lose it.
You might lose it. That's going to draw you in far much more than telling positive stories, right? So it is the number one advice that is wrong, that you can only use positive in your communication. And the companies I see doing that are the most safe and dull businesses around.
Fair enough. Well, Greg, this has been great. Where can folks find out more information about you?
Yeah. Narrativity.com is my business. And also, a lot of people listening to this may be thinking, I wonder how my story stacks up. I've created a quiz and it's at storytellingquiz.com. And it's a messaging health check. So I've asked you a whole lot of questions built on the fundamental pillars of strong storytelling. And you can rate, it's a very easy thing. There's a sliding scale, there's multiple choice. But by the end of it, I will rate how your current story stacks up and what you can do about it to make it better. So 2 things, narrativity.com is my business, and storytellingquiz.com if you want to see how you're currently telling your story.
That's awesome. Greg, thank you so much for taking the time. This has been really fun. We'll have to do it again sometime, okay?
It's been a pleasure.
Well, that's going to wrap up this edition of Delivering Marketing Joy. We'll see you next time.